just got an email from my library that one of the books that I was going to read for this vlog is available. So I thought, what better time to introduce the vlog than right now? Because I'm going to go pick that up today, I think. So today's video is going to be the second installment in my Readers Also Enjoyed series, where I go on the Goodreads page for my 2021 favorites and look at the Readers Also Enjoyed section on Goodreads and then read books from that section to see if I actually also enjoy them. This is in an attempt to find more 5-star reads that I will absolutely love. I will link episode 1 where I read books recommended based on Emma. This time around, I'm going to be reading 3 books that readers who enjoyed The Hating Game by Sally Thorne also enjoyed. The books that I'm going to be reading for this vlog are The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, and The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which is actually the one I'm going to read first because it's the one that's available to me right now from my library. So, Love Hypothesis is super popular on BookTube and especially Book Talk, and actually a girl that I went to high school with who has a Book Talk channel, if I can remember to, I will link it down below for you. She makes really cute videos. She is obsessed with this book, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and so is my friend Kelly at Velvet Library. She really loved this book, but Kelly is also really, really into Raylo. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I cannot remember if I've seen all the Star Wars movies or not. They don't differentiate from each other in my brain. I know them by the trilogy that they are in, and that's it. So, I know I've seen all the original 6. I've seen the original trilogy, and then I've seen the trilogy from the 2000s. I don't know if I've seen the most recent movies. Can't remember. I don't know what happens in them. I don't know what any of the characters' arcs are. I know I've seen at least one, but I don't know. I think it was the first one, I assume, and I don't know if I've seen any of the other ones. Star Wars is just something that doesn't, my brain doesn't hold it. It's I enjoy it while I'm watching it, but my brain does not retain any of the information from it. Don't know who any of the characters are. Don't know what happens. Don't know what the planets are. I'm getting better at recognizing, stuff from the original trilogy and the stuff that came out when I was a kid, so that's good. But I just can't keep it. It just doesn't stay in my brain. My brain is like a sponge, and every time I leave the Star Wars theater, it just wrings itself out, and I can't remember anything about it. So, but I do have high hopes for The Love Hypothesis, even though I'm not a big, stan of Star Wars or Raylo or anything like that, because it's about a girl who is a grad student, I think, and she ends up having to fake date her, I don't think it's her professor, but it's a professor in her same program or something, because I've heard that they don't really have, a work relationship. It's just they kind of work at the same place, which to me, I liked The Hating Game. I liked the aspect of it that was, a workplace relationship. I also really liked If I Never Met You by Veri McFarlane, I think is how her name is pronounced. I'll put it on the screen because it's spelled differently, but I think she's Irish, so it's Gaelic? I don't know if that's right. But I really liked that book, and that was another fake dating office romance. So I have high hopes that I will enjoy that dynamic because those are 2 tropes that I really, really like. We'll see. I have heard some really negative reviews of this book, but I almost feel like people who negatively review it knew they weren't going to like it going into it. I feel like it's something that they already knew they weren't going to like, and they read because of the hype, which, no shame, go for it. To see if it was as good as everyone said, and then it just wasn't for them. But it sounds like something I'm gonna like, so I feel already like I probably will like it. Who knows though, because I found out recently that I don't really, my reading tastes are evolving and I'm not very good at keeping track of it. But Punk 57 is, it sounds YA to me, reading about it. This will be my second Penelope Douglas. By the way, I've never read anything by Ali Hazelwood, and I've never read anything by Christina Lauren, the other authors. It's an author duo, but the other name I'm gonna read from this month. Punk 57 is a bully romance, ? So it starts off with 2 kids. They're literally children in 4th grade. And they write each other letters. They become pen pals. And then at some point in high school, they meet and they hate each other. But I think it's one of them knows it's them and the other one doesn't know it's them. And then they have a hate to love bully romance thing, I think. I read Penelope Douglas's book, Birthday Girl, last summer, and I didn't really love it. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was fine, but nothing about it was, as amazing as everyone said it was going to be. But I would probably give this book 3 stars as well. I'm going to read it to see if I can change my mind. And if I don't like this book, there's one other Penelope Douglas that I'm kind of interested in, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And if I don't like this, I might just go ahead and preemptively cut that from my TBR because she just might not be an author for me, which is fine. There are authors for some people and people who don't get along with, her writing style is fine. I don't want to say anything about that, but just the way that she tells stories, I don't get along with or I don't care about, I guess. That's the other book that I'm reading. And then finally, I am going to be reading The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which was so popular on BookTube when I first started, so in 2020, I guess. And it seems like it's going to be a great, like, summery romance. It's another hate to love romance, and it's about characters who hate each other. They were both in a wedding. I don't know if they were just, like, at the wedding or if they were in the wedding. I can't remember from the blurb, but I'll find out. And everyone at the wedding gets food poisoning, but they didn't eat for whatever reason, so they have to go on the bride and groom's honeymoon, and because it's already paid for and it's all inclusive, so they have to pretend to be a married couple on this honeymoon thing, and I assume they fall in love, but it's like forks. It's fake dating, forced proximity, and like hate to love. So those are all things that I think I will enjoy. But anyways, I'm gonna eat my pancake and do my bar prep, and when I go to the library, I'll bring you with me, and we can go look and grab my book. That rhymed. Hello. It's after midnight, so I'm sorry that I look a little crazy, but I am about 150 pages into The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I'm still reading more. I'm probably going to read more tonight. This is like a 400-page book, which I did not realize. I'm going to turn you this way. I just wanted to point out a couple of things that I've noticed. I am really liking it, for the record, but I've already explained what it's about, so I'm not going to do that again, but I do notice that with books like these, they tend to, I don't know, I don't even know if I think it's like a gender role reversal, but like, I feel like I've read other books like this. The male, like the hero in this book, is very germophobic. That's why he doesn't end up getting food poisoning at the wedding. The heroine has a shellfish allergy, and it's a seafood buffet, so she has to order like a plated dinner that's separate from it at the wedding, and that's why she doesn't get sick. But he orders the same plated dinner because he has a thing about buffets being really like dirty and gross, and I mean, he turns out to be right in this one instance, but I just think it's funny that like he is a germaphobe, and also, he's also like afraid of flying and a bunch of other things that I just feel like that's kind of a trope for this kind of male character. I'm sure at some point I will remember what other heroes I'm thinking of, but I've read at least one other book. It honestly might have been The Hating Game, where the hero was like this level of he's not even a hypochondriac, just like a germaphobe, which is fine. There's nothing, I don't have anything against that. I don't know if there's something wrong with it. There might be. I don't know. Talk to a therapist. I'm not a therapist, but that's really interesting. I'm also really enjoying the way that they're like having to pretend like their marriage is real. I can sort of figure out where they're going to have issues, because both of them so far on this honeymoon have run into people in their real life who they've had to lie about being married to each other. But the thing is, so I don't know if I've mentioned this because I don't think I knew before I read the book. The main character's name is Olive. Her sister, who is her twin sister, Amy, is married to this guy. And the guy has a brother. And the brother, Ethan, is who Olive is now on the vacation with. And so Amy won the honeymoon, but she had to claim it with her full name and her husband's last name. So it just worked out that her husband's last name is Thomas, and his brother has the same last name as him. And so Olive is her twin, so she's using Amy's ID at the resort to be Amy. And they've both run into people. What I can't understand is, and maybe this is a spoiler, maybe it's not. I'm not marking it, but if you don't want to know anything that happens in this book, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Amy runs into her, like, she's about to start a new job, and she runs in, or no, Olive runs into her boss at her about to be new job, who she's interviewed with but hasn't really met. And rather than just like pretend that she doesn't know him and pretend to be Amy, who would not know him, she talks to him like she's Olive, and then has to tell him that she's married to Ethan, even though she's not really married to Ethan. So it's going to be a bigger problem later. So I don't understand how that, I mean, I guess I do, because like she was caught up in the moment, but she should have just been like, I'm Amy, I don't know you, whatever. That's what I would have done, I think. And then the other one is less avoidable, but Ethan runs into his ex-girlfriend at the resort. And he's with Olive. And he's like, this is my wife, Olive. And I will say, though, the ex-girlfriend knew Amy. So it made more sense. But the boss did not know either of the girls. He just interviewed Olive. So I don't understand why that was even an issue. I guess, like, foreshadowing for the whole, like, fake dating thing. Because now they've realized they're staying at the same resort as Ethan's ex-girlfriend. And that's awkward. And they're having to, like, deal with pretending to be on their honeymoon. Even though he and his ex-girlfriend broke up, like, 6 months ago. So, like, it's very awkward. But I'm really enjoying it. I like Olive and Ethan. I like their banter. And I will say, I know I talked a big game about, like, wanting people to actually hate each other. They have no reason to hate each other. All we know is that the first time they met was at a state fair. And Ethan was really nice to Olive. And then Olive ordered cheese curds. And Ethan looked at her like he was disgusted with her. And there's been no hint that he has a dairy allergy. I can't figure out why that would have been the turning point for him. Unless it's something lame, like he just thinks that's so hot and he just couldn't handle it. I don't know. But she thinks it's like a body shaming thing. Which she's also said that she looks exactly like her twin sister. And she said nothing body shaming about her twin sister. I don't know. So anyways, I'm enjoying it. But I will let you know as I have more updates. Hello. If you can hear my AC, it's because it's really hot and I'm in my car reading the Unhoneymooners outside of a Starbucks because I scheduled 2 wedding venue, you don't care about this, I scheduled 2 wedding venue tours back to back, except for the second one got pushed an hour and a half. So rather than having like 45 minutes between tours, I wound up having like, what is that, 2 hours between tours, 2.5 hours. So instead, I went to Starbucks and then I decided to read in my car. I brought a book anyways because I knew this morning that it was pushed back, but where I'm touring also is like 40 minutes away from where I live. So I could have gone home, but gas prices are ridiculous. You don't need to know any of this. I wanted to update you with thoughts on this book because while I do like the chemistry between the main characters, I don't really love where the story is going. So there's this subplot that I mentioned already, or like the catalyst of the book is that everyone at this wedding between the 2 main characters, brother and sister, gets sick because they eat at the buffet, and then the 2 main characters go on the honeymoon because if they don't go on the honeymoon, they lose the honeymoon and they have to pretend to be the brother and sister who got married. You know all this? Well, the brother of the guy who got married, Ethan, the main character of the book, is telling Olive, whose twin sister just married his younger brother, all of these things about his brother that Olive is pretty sure Amy didn't know. And they're not like small things like he's a picky eater or something. They're like huge things about their relationship in particular. And Olive has just decided she's not going to tell her sister. And I think that's a bad idea because her sister's supposed to be like her best friend. And I have 2 sisters. Admittedly, we're not like super close. They're quite a bit older than me, but sorry if you're watching this. They're like 9 and 7 years older than me. They're not old by any means. Again, sorry if you're watching this, but we're not nearly as close as Amy and Olive are supposed to be. They're supposed to be like this. They're twins. They've grown up together. They've always been best friends. And just like if I knew the things about either of their husbands that Olive now knows about Amy's husband, Dane, I would tell them. I don't know exactly how I would go about telling them. Honestly, I would probably tell my mom first, which is not a good call. Well, maybe not. But I wouldn't just sit on the information. Especially because the reason Olive is deciding not to tell Amy is because she's like, well, Amy already probably knows. If she already knows, then you bring it up to her and it's no big deal. But if she doesn't know, it's a huge deal. I just think it's bad. I hate it. It's making me cringe. So this book might be a 3-star depending on how that ends up going. But right now it's feeling like a 4-star. Again, it's not really giving me the 5-star feelings. It's very fade to black, which I don't have to have like sexy scenes in my romances for them to be 5 stars. I read one book last summer called If I Never Met You. And that is a fade to black romance that I gave 5 stars because I absolutely loved it. But something about this one just isn't giving me the same like bubbly, warm feelings. So we'll see. Also, I feel like their getting together, I don't think there was enough pining for me, because they did get together rather quickly, and we're about I'm a little over halfway through the book, but they're already home from the honeymoon. So I like that, because that means there's more to the story, but it meant that their romance happened a little bit faster than I would have been expecting. So I'm going to continue reading this. I'm going to let you know how I ultimately feel about it once I finish it, but right now I'm feeling like very yikesy about it. Hi, I'm in the same spot, but it's been like an hour, and I did finish the Unhoneymooners. I don't know what I'm giving it yet. I usually don't like an epilogue. I liked this epilogue okay. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about the conflict in this book, because if this kind of conflict happened in my real relationship, I would not be able to take the other person back. But as we've mentioned before on this channel, I hold a grudge. So I did like I had an enjoyable time reading the book, which is why I think I will probably end up giving it 4 stars, or like 3.5 rounded up to 4. But I did enjoy my reading experience, but it also made me really mad. So those are my final thoughts on the Unhoneymooners. I will let you know when I get the next book for this vlog, and we will keep the momentum going. Hopefully it's not too far in the future, but I don't know when I'm going to get the next one. So I'll update you when I have an update. Hello. So I just got an ebook copy. My library does this thing called skip the line, which I'm sure other libraries do, but basically it means that other people were ahead of me in line, but I get the copy first. I don't know why. I only get it for 2 weeks instead of 3, but I didn't explain what book it was. I got an ebook copy of The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, so I'm about to start that, and I will let you know how I feel about it when I'm about halfway through, and then again when I finish it. So here's hoping that it is a success. This is the one that's a workplace romance. It's not really workplace, it's like academic setting, but one of the main characters is a PhD student, and then Adam is one of the professors at her program, but not her professor, and they have like a fake dating romance. Unclear why. I will let you know when I read it. Okay, I have read like the first line of this book, and sorry you're tilted on a weird axis. I actually spent the last like hour editing this video that is going to go up on Sunday, so sorry. I haven't read that much, but I just realized that the main character of this book's name is Olive, and the main character of the last book I read was named Olive, so is Olive just the go-to quirky girl name? Let me know. Good morning. I just showered, so excuse my... Is that better? I don't know. I feel like this is really blurry, but it might just be that my contacts are all smudged. Excuse my appearance, but I did just want to update you with how I'm going about the love hypothesis. I'm going to try to set you somewhere so that I can relax my arm. Hold on. Okay, that is much better. So I did manage to make it just over 50% of the way into the love hypothesis as of yesterday. Is this on my glasses or on my face? It's on my glasses. What is it? What is it? I don't know. Anyway, oh, it's a shadow. I'm losing my mind this morning. But I did manage to make it just over 50% of the way in the love hypothesis, and I have some like observations, and I also have some thoughts. So my thoughts are that I am really, really enjoying it. I do like Olive and Adam's chemistry. I think they work well together as a couple. I love the like, not taboo, because it's not taboo, but like the slight like, I don't know, thrill of the situation of like a student teacher or like faculty member, even though he's not her teacher. I think that works really well. That's a trope that I kind of like, not student teachers, but like, I don't know. I like relationships that have to be hidden because they're like not allowed. This one is allowed, but it gives me the same vibe, so I'm sticking with that opinion. I'm really enjoying their banter, and it's clear that it's a romance between them, but some things are coming up where like, I don't know. I don't know that they'll have a third act breakup, but right now they're fake dating, and they have a thing where they kind of both think that the other one doesn't like them like that and likes the other person. And obviously, as the reader, you know that's not true, but it's very interesting to read just because like, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where like, obviously, you know it's going to work out because it's a romance, but there's enough like tension to where I'm genuinely wondering how it's going to work itself out, if that makes sense. As opposed to the Unhoneymooners, which had a conflict that I could not stand, and just like, not even miscommunication tropes, just refusing to believe the male characters in that book, I could not stand. I liked Ethan enough in a vacuum, but I feel like he didn't bring enough to the relationship to justify the like way that he and Olive in that book had a falling out. So, but the other thing that I didn't like about the Unhoneymooners, sorry, this has become an Unhoneymooners thoughts update. I think I'm gonna lower my rating to 3 stars. Right now I have it at 4 stars because I did enjoy my read of it, but I just didn't. it didn't work for me as a romance. It was fun, but I like didn't really feel anything except for like disdain for the main male character. And I think part of the problem was that there is no like development of relationship between Olive and Ethan in that book. Ethan literally just, they find out that they've always thought the other one was attractive, but they don't know each other. Like, sure, they've been around each other at like family functions, but the only thing that they've ever done around each other is like sneer and be mean. And then suddenly Olive finds out that Ethan always thought she was cute and didn't ask her out for a reason that is explained in the book. And then they're like getting it on. And there's no like development of what they're like as people. I don't even think Olive knows what Ethan does for work until like they've already hooked up. Which, there's nothing wrong with that, but like, you want me to believe that these people are madly in love? I don't believe it. So, anyways, I'm much more enjoying The Love Hypothesis than I did The Unhoneymooners, which is such a shame. The Unhoneymooners is such a fun concept. It was just a fun read, but the actual romance part, I didn't feel anything for. I got some books at Goodwill yesterday, so I figured I'd show you, so that I don't have to do a separate haul video. So, I got 2 Book of the Month books, which I'm pretty excited about. One is Unsheltered by Barbara Kingsolver. I don't know what this is about, but I've read 2 Barbara Kingsolvers now. One was The Poisonwood Bible, which I gave 5 stars, and I read that in December of 2020. And the other one I read when I was in like 8th grade, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was called. But this book, I'll read to you what it's about. It says, how could 2 hardworking people do everything right in life, a woman asks, and end up destitute? Willa Knox and her husband followed all the rules as responsible parents and professionals, and have nothing to show for it but debt and an inherited brick house that is falling apart. The magazine where Willa worked has folded. The college where her husband had tenure has closed. Their dubious shelter is also the only option for a disabled father-in-law and an exasperating, free-spirited daughter. When the family's one success story, an Ivy-educated son, is uprooted by tragedy, he seems likely to join them with dark complications of his own. There's 2 other paragraphs, but I'm only going to read that. So it's like a family story. I love a multi-generational family story personally, so I think I will like this. I also really like Barbara Kingsolver's writing style. So the other Book of the Month book that I found at Goodwill was One to Watch. This is, I know what this one is about. This is basically a, it's a rom-com style, but it's a girl who essentially goes on The Bachelorette, and I think what happens is she writes a blog post about how this show, the show might be called One to Watch, I don't really know, but it's a Bachelorette-style TV show, and she talks about how there's never any plus-size people, and there's no diversity in the, like, sizing of the women on the show, and so they actually have her be their first plus-size Bachelorette-type person, and then it just sort of goes from there. I've heard very mixed things about this, so I'm interested to see if I like it. It sounds really cute and fun, which is what honestly, that's what I'm looking for. So, I'm looking for a nice chiclety fun time. Then I got a paperback copy of I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai. I don't know how her name is pronounced. I'm really, really sorry. Should I look it up?
Malala Yousafzai.
Malala Yousafzai. I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai. And this is the girl who got shot by the Taliban when she was trying to go to school. I think she won Pulitzer Prize for Peace, maybe? Nobel Peace Prize. I'm so stupid. Pulitzer Prize is a fiction prize. It doesn't matter. So, I do want to read this. I've been wanting to read that for a while. I honestly want to get the audiobook of it still, but I found it, and I figured, why not? So, I think she reads the audiobook. That's why I want the audiobook. And then, the last thing I got is something that I'm, like, really excited about. I found this really old copy of Slaughterhouse-Five. And it says a new novel, so this sort of makes me think that this might be the original print. I could be wrong about that, but like, look at this man, Kurt Vonnegut, man. I really want to read this book. This is a book that a lot of people had to read for school. I got out of reading it for school for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure one teacher at my high school taught it in 1 grade, and I had the other teacher, and then another English teacher taught it at a 2nd grade, and I did not have that English teacher either, so I just never read it. But I would like to. I read Cat's Cradle in 2019, I think, and absolutely loved it. And then I read Breakfast of Champions last year, which I think is like my boyfriend's or my fiance's dad's favorite book. And I liked it okay, but I feel like I need to reread it once I've read the other stuff. There's a repeat character in that one, so I need to read the other stuff that that character is in to really get the full gist of it. But this, again, update has been too long, but those are the books that I got from Goodwill. And I will let you know when I finish The Love Hypothesis, and then I will also let you know when I start Punk 57.
Hello, I am once again updating you from a laying down position in a vlog, so sorry about that. But I did just finish The Love Hypothesis, and I really liked it. I think I might give it 5 stars. I think I loved it. I really liked the banter. I really liked the characters' relationships. I really liked the conflict, which is something that can make or break a romance for me, clearly, with my experience with the Unhoneymooners. But this was a thoroughly enjoyable experience, and I've seen a couple of videos. So I knew, like, pretty much all of the elements of this just from, like, different people's vlogs about it and just, like, talking about it in wrap-ups, because personally, I'm not going to talk about anything specific or too specific here, because I don't think that it, like, ruined the reading experience for me, but I pretty much knew every single thing that was going to happen. But, like, I feel like it doesn't really matter for romances, and I didn't know every single thing, but I knew, like, a couple of lines that would happen, and I knew, like, a couple of, like, big events that would happen. I didn't know anything about the conflict, though, so that was really fun, but I'm not gonna spoil anything here, but I did notice things that I don't think I would have noticed, like negative things about the book. I don't think I would have noticed had I not seen people complain about them, but I don't think it, like, fully hampered my enjoyment of the book, and I still really, really enjoyed it, so I am gonna give it 5 stars. So I am gonna go cook dinner, and then I will let you know when I've started Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, because that's the last thing I have to read for this vlog. And I don't think I mentioned this already. I might not have Kindle Unlimited anymore. I've mentioned this in vlogs before, but my mom has Kindle Unlimited, and then me and one of my sisters share a Kindle account with my mom. So we all have our own Kindles, but we have the same books. And if my mom doesn't have Kindle Unlimited anymore, I don't think I'm going to buy Punk 57, but I might. So I don't know, but I don't know what I'm going to do, basically, if I don't have Kindle Unlimited anymore. But if I do have Kindle Unlimited, I think it's on there, and I'll just download it. And that'll be that.
Hi, it's the next day. I wanted to update you and let you know that I did start, what is it called? Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Still, I'm not sure why it's called that. I know it's called, like, Punk. I get that part. I don't get the 57 part. Am I dumb? I don't know. But, so what's interesting about this book is that these are the youngest characters. They are in high school. They're technically both 18, but they are high school seniors. And I think I've already kind of explained the premise, but the guy's name is Misha, the girl's name is Ryan, and I remember saying that I thought those were really stupid names, but they were named that intentionally. So when they were in 5th grade, they got paired. There's, like, different schools. They went to different schools that were, like, 30 miles apart, and they got paired up as pen pals. And the reason they were paired up is because Misha's teacher thought Ryan was a boy, and Ryan's teacher thought Misha was a girl. And so they ended up being pen pals. And then after the year, they stayed in contact via letters. And the sort of catalyst of the book is that Misha's band throws this fundraising party for their summer tour in a warehouse. And it's like a warehouse party, and Misha meets Ryan, but Ryan doesn't know that it's Misha, and he realizes that she is, like, this popular cheerleader, whatever, and he is, like, a punk, for lack of a better word, with, like, a lip ring and tattoos, and, like, he's very much a bad boy, and he always sort of thought that she was more of an outcast, because they sort of bonded over being outcasts, and she's not an outcast, she's very popular, and so he feels like she lied to her. And then some other really tragic stuff happens in his life, but then the real book starts, like, 3 months after that, and Misha transfers to her school under a fake name, Mason, and they sort of, like, he bullies her, basically. He's very mean to her, which, like, she eggs him on a bit. I don't know. I really didn't like that part of the book, but I really am enjoying it. I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm, like, 82% in, and I started it yesterday. So I read it for, like, it's only, like, 340 pages, I think, on Kindle, but I did read a lot of it last night and, like, yesterday afternoon. I'm really liking it. I really like the characters, and I do think it's funny that, like, I seem to have done this vlog in, like, progressive steam order. So, like, The Unhoneymooners is fade black. The Love Hypothesis is very slow burn and has, like, one explicit sex scene, and it's not even that, like, explicit. Like, I mean, it is, but it's not, like, Penelope Douglas writes some, like, very explicit smut, which I don't mind. I actually like it. But it does make me feel weird that they're 18-year-olds. I will say though, I like this better than I liked her other book that I read, Birthday Girl, which I mentioned before. Birthday Girl, I didn't get the characters' connection to each other, and I watched so many videos of people talking about that book before I read it, talking about how great their connection was, and then I read it and was just like, what? So this one I do like. What I really like about it is the angst from them like hating each other, and I can feel that turning into like passion. Gross. But so I am liking it more than I thought I would, which shocks me. But I hopefully will finish it tonight, and then I'll let you know. Hello, it's been a couple hours. I actually just finished Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, and I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The smut was really well done, I thought, and it wasn't like my favorite story. There was a little bit too much angst, and like I said, I felt kind of weird about the characters' ages, or like them being in high school, I guess. I don't know. So other than that, like putting that aside, I enjoyed it. I thought parts of it were pretty predictable. Like parts of Misha's reasoning for going to the school I thought was kind of obvious, but I don't know if other people feel that way. I'm not going to say what it is, obviously, because I think it was supposed to be a twist, question mark. But I did really like this one, and I mean, I guess I would read more Penelope Douglas, but Birthday Girl, I just remember, did not do it for me at all. This one, I liked. So, I don't know. I don't know what that says about me. I don't like Penelope Douglas's epilogues. I don't really like epilogues in romance in general, because it's always like 1 year later and they're married and pregnant, and that's like not the happily ever after that like I need. I'm fine with them just ending the book back together and that being that. So this one wasn't that bad. It was kind of bad. I skimmed the epilogue because I didn't like it. I just don't like epilogues, I guess. But I am gonna give that book 4 stars. So my ranking for these romances: Love Hypothesis is number 1, Punk 57 is number 2, shockingly. I thought I wasn't gonna like it. And then The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren is number 3, which is the one that I like actively, there were things about both The Unhoneymooners and Punk 57 that I actively disliked. So at the beginning of Punk 57, as I mentioned, Misha's like really mean to Ryan, and I don't know, I didn't like that at all. And then the conflict in The Unhoneymooners I hated. So both of those have things that I like actively disliked. The Love Hypothesis had nothing that I actively disliked, and I really liked it. I liked the banter, I liked the chemistry, I thought they were really cute. It had some of my favorite tropes. And I think that's the most similar to The Hating Game. So The Hating Game has a little bit more like antagonism between the main characters at the beginning, and the banter is a little bit more like they dislike each other than The Love Hypothesis, which is just like we're in this awkward situation now and we've got to sort of deal with it. And like, you know that Adam, the professor, is like scary to his students, and his students are like afraid of him, and they call him like an ass and all this stuff. Like he's really strict and harsh, but he's never like that to Olive, so you don't really feel it the same way. Whereas like Josh and Lucy in The Hating Game have like, they were like bickering and bantering and they're competing for a job. So it's a little different, but like, I feel like the steam level was the most similar between those two, and the writing quality was the most similar between those two. I guess Christina Lauren's writing quality is not bad. I don't like Penelope Douglas's writing style. I'm just gonna say it. It reads a little bit like fan fiction. Not the end of the world. I think she's indie published, so maybe she's just like self-editing. I'm not sure. But all that to say, it didn't bother me too much. It's kind of like reading Sarah J. Maas books. No offense to people who like Sarah J. Maas. I think her books also read a little bit like fan fiction. So it's just not like the best writing to me. But what do I know? Nothing. Hello. So it's actually the morning after I finished this vlog, but I was watching TikTok last night and I saw a couple things that cracked me up. And one of them was a TikTok of a girl saying like, the TikTok wasn't about this, but I'll link it down below if you want to watch it. But she said, she like pulled out 2 books and said that The Unhoneymooners she loved and The Hating Game she hated. And I think that's really funny because I didn't hate The Unhoneymooners, but obviously I didn't like it very much, and I was reading it because people recommended it based on The Hating Game. So I thought that was really funny. Okay, the other thing I was thinking about is you know how the Love Hypothesis is supposed to be like a Star Wars Reylo fanfic? Is Anne supposed to be Rose? Is that why they just like... Because the author makes Anne, which is the main character's Olive's best friend. She's the reason why they fake date is because Anne likes Jeremy, and Olive was dating Jeremy when he met Anne. And Olive doesn't really like Jeremy, so she's trying to convince Anne that it's okay to date him by dating someone else, and so she fake dates her professor. You're with me. Anne is... It's just mentioned like once that she is Vietnamese. And she's like in a bunch of like diversity outreach programs, which is the other thing, but like it doesn't really play a key role in her character. So I'm wondering if she's supposed to be Rose from, that's her name, right? I don't know that much about Star Wars. I'm just gonna say that right now. But I'm wondering if she's supposed to be Rose. I'm wondering if Malcolm is supposed to be John Boyega's character, and is like Holden supposed to be Oscar Isaac? I don't know. Does that even make sense? I'm not sure. But I was thinking about this last night and I was like, oh my God. I don't know who Tom is supposed to be, but if you know, let me know. And I don't know if any of these are actually supposed to be besides Rey and Kylo Ren. So, also, does anyone else think it's weird that it's like Reylo fanfiction and she named the main character Adam, and Adam is the name of the actor who plays Kylo Ren? Does no one think that? We don't think that's weird? Anyways, back to past me to wrap this up, but I just wanted to put that out there for you. That is my conclusion of this. Readers also enjoyed episode 2. I will definitely be doing this again. But if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel because I do post 2 videos a week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!